Booknerds. We are back with another live session, and it's the weekend. I know you guys are here. Hi, Doc.
Hi.
Hi. Should I
How
call
are
you Doc
you?
or Kiran or Dr. Kiran? What should I call you?
Whatever makes you happy. I'm fine with any of it.
I love Doc, so I'll be calling you Doc, and
Call me
that's cool. And there's this part in your book where you say that skin doctors are cool, so that's my favorite part of
I
the
think
book.
you're cool. I feel kind of cool. I tell myself I am, which is,
Yeah.
uh,
And yeah,
you just feel
thank you for taking time out, because I know your office called and they said you are busy with a client, and I was like, okay, that is definitely more important. So let's start this.
thank you so much for waiting for me.
No,
I just wanted to make sure I covered everything and then I could just be free
yeah.
and at peace.
Yes, awesome. So let me tell everyone a little bit of why we are here. We are here to discuss this book. It's already a bestseller. It's doing great. If you go on Amazon, it's right up there. It's called Skin Sense. It's flipped right now, but I'll say out the title for you. It's called Skin Sense. Dr. Kiran's Guide to Being Beautiful. And I just posted on LinkedIn that I'll be talking about this book on Instagram, and it is much more than it says out loud. Skin, but it's much more than that. It's much more of an wholesome experience. It's a lifestyle book, I would say. So thank you for writing this. And before reading this one, I mean, my mind is boggled. To be honest, I never thought, okay, I have to take my skin so seriously. And you must be seeing why I'm talking like that, because we all have kind of gone through this different sort of issues with skin,
Yeah.
etc., etc. Okay, enough of me rambling. But for those of you who are not aware about Dr. Kiran's work, obviously she's the best-selling author of this book, but she is also an integrative aesthetic and celebrity skin expert. And she has done her all her education from the US, and obviously she consults celebrities with all their skin problems. And I read in the book that Ria Sen has been saying wonders about the book and whatnot. Obviously, Dr. Kiran has been covered in all the top news networks in India and across the globe. Thank you so much for taking time out. We are really excited, because there are so many things, and I really wanted to start with that cool part, and I wanted to quote from there, because it was very interesting for me. I love your bottle, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I'm very thirsty. I haven't had enough water today.
Yes, and those of you who have read the book or will be reading the book, you'll know why drinking water is important. Anyway, so you say on page 223 right here that skin doctors are cool. Nowadays, there are so many cool things we skin doctors can do that you never knew, and without any surgeries involved. We can treat your cellulite and stretch marks. Oh my God, stretch marks. That chicken skin known as keratosis, pilaris, or little bumps, marks on the arms, legs, or back. We can get rid of them all with laser hair removal, followed by peels and therapies to remove the remaining marks. We can even do non-invasive fat loss, tighten your double chin, your neck, your breasts, your butt, and your tummy. We can treat your hair loss and even augment your breasts and butt with fillers and PRP, and so on and so forth. You guys, I should call you a skin ninja more than anything else.
I call myself a skin witch.
Wow. Yes, you have written that in the book, so I know. Okay, my first question, obviously, you're saying, making this cool. I mean, this is awesome. I mean, 10 years back, I wouldn't have, kind of expected this. A doctor coming on Instagram and talking about skin in this manner. What happened? It could have, just been, you quietly telling everyone via a book. But on Instagram, I mean, you are a rock star.
No, I mean, but there's a lot of doctors on Instagram. I actually was one of the first people to start in India on Instagram.
Okay.
I loved it. Like, I really loved the visual nature of it. I loved that I could communicate with people. I just want people to find ways to help themselves in an easy way with my book, with Instagram, whatever they can do, because not everyone has access to a skin doctor or a cosmetologist or a dermatologist. So how do we do that? How do we help people do that? So at least a little bit, a little basics, a little skincare, a little maintenance, a little knowledge never hurt anybody. In fact, it just elevates you. So when you actually do get to go to a doctor, then you know what to ask for, you know what you need, and you know what you want. So that's good.
It's amazing because, and coming right away to, I never knew that there are types of skin. Okay, I was like, okay, I mean, there is no skin education whatsoever. If you look at it, for the common folks like me, I never knew that there are types of skin. I was like, what's happening? Can I detect? How can I go about, can I educate myself really to take care of myself? It is such a revelation, especially for guys. I mean, I don't know if I'm being stereotypical, but although I thought that there is less for guys in the book, and I'm not so happy about it, but maybe in a sequel.
No, but all of this also applies to men. It's not just for women. Everything applies to men as well.
I know. I wanted some specific things, but it's fine. It's totally fine.
Oh, so the men feel like they're not being catered to. Okay, I'll take care of it next time.
Okay. No. It's just a small thing. But anyways, there were some parts.
I got my next book. I'll make sure it's all about you.
Yes. So there were some really important issues. I mean, for that matter, hair loss, which is like the biggest taboo in India. It is and it is totally connected with skin, and nobody, the editor recommends is like, what the hell are you talking about? Didn't you read the book? Everything applies to men. I know it applies to men. I was just getting nitpicking, but anyways, so I was talking about hair loss, and nobody notices that it is directly connected to skin. I was like, what the heck? I could have gotten so much better, if I would have paid more attention. So tell us a little bit about what you encounter on a daily basis with your clients. What's happening on this balding taboo thing, and it's just heartbreaking sometimes.
Yeah, so people are balding much earlier than they ever did before. We're seeing 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and I think a lot of it has to do with diet and life. So actually, we find that people that are more sensitive to sugar or more sensitive to insulin, or they have insulin resistance, they actually bald earlier. And there's a lot of foods that trigger that, like sugar, high glycemic foods, processed foods, dairy. And a big trigger that people don't know is protein supplements and muscle building supplements. These are things that, I'll ask like an 18-year-old, are you trying to build muscle with anything? And they'll be like, yes. And you'll notice the time course, between the hair fall and this whey protein or whatever else they're taking. So this whole change in the way we all live and the way we, everyone's like, I need protein to build muscle. And I'm like, wow, I just think it's like a big marketing gimmick. I don't know how much protein you need to build muscle, but it cannot be something that will make your hair fall and give you acne. Like, I really just still think that that's required. I think there has to be some solution.
Doc, you have kicked off a very interesting topic, because with whey proteins, and I was speaking to a founder of a really big app, like a couple of months back, and he was like promoting whey protein like anything, and I was like, okay, just common sense. I don't really trust what comes in that box, but I was like skeptical. So I'm glad that you have addressed that in the book as well. But what could be the repercussions?
Of whey protein? I mean, I have seen, anecdote personally, people balding earlier, hair fall. I've seen acne. I've seen PCOS triggered. I've seen a bunch of things. I actually just don't think whey protein is good for you, and especially the volumes that people eat. It's insane. How much can you have of those shakes? And then the protein bar, and then the protein shakes, and then the protein anda. I'm just like, come on. I don't know what you're making. You don't need protein cake.
And soya. So soya recommended like anything. It is like an overdose. I don't know. Okay, that person will kill me now.
People angrier.
Yes, obviously, yes. And a very important aspect that you talk about in the book is self-worth. And you kickstart with that kind of and even during the pandemic, after pandemic, even before pandemic, a lot of us kind of struggle with that self-esteem, self-worth. It is connected to everything. It is about lifestyle. It is about skin that you have talked about already. What is your opinion on that, and how does one balance kind of everything and still glow as such? I mean, not literally, but kind of figuratively.
So self-worth to me just feels, feeling good about yourself, accepting yourself. Forget feeling good about yourself. It's very hard to feel good about yourself all day. All right. It's just impossible. I'm not, like no one can feel good about themselves all day. We all do something, we say something mean, or we just like, we don't wake up on time. There's so many things that we all do. You can't feel good about yourself, but you accept yourself, right?
Yeah.
You accept yourself. You say, okay, this is how I am.
Right.
Sometimes I'm cranky, sometimes I'm tired, sometimes I don't want to do this. It's okay, that's just how I am, right? Sometimes I have a scar, it's okay. I mean, I have a big scar right here and I have a big scar right here. I don't feel like
Right.
dealing with it now. Okay, fine. I'll deal with it when I'm ready. Okay, I mean, I'm still me. So it's a space of saying that this is how it is. This is okay. If you go from a space that this is not okay, I can't live if this is on me. I just don't like myself if I have this scar. I don't like myself if I have this birthmark. I don't like myself if I have this acne. That's actually a very unwholesome way to go about fixing things. When you go from a space of negativity and fear, very often the result is not actually the better result. When you come from a space of just, okay, this is what the situation is, I accept it, I'm okay as I am, but I'd like it to get better. You actually get a much better result. It becomes faster. You're much calmer. So self-acceptance not only just makes you feel better about yourself in life, but it also ensures much better outcomes. Because, the person who's scared does the thing that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Does the thing that, that makes them feel good, but doesn't make them actually get better. They're just trying to feel calmer. You're working on feeling calmer or feeling better about yourself as opposed to solving the problem. So the moment you remove that from the situation, automatically you're just more focused on, okay, this is what do I need to do? And you use your brain. You don't use your fear.
Yeah. You have talked a lot of lifestyle disorders, and I keep on talking to friends, and one word that kind of pops up all the time is PCOS, and it is always there inevitably. And I think so. You have written 30% odd of most women are going through it, and you have gone into detail. So a lot of people who sometimes kind of are scared of to talk about it, or just are not aware that this is happening to you. How do they kind of realize that this is happening to them? I mean, I have read the book and I'll be rereading it because it is that kind of book, but tell us a slight perhaps a little bit so that people are aware that this is happening to them at least.
So PCOS is I don't view it as a disease. I view it as a syndrome, as does most of the medical fraternity. To me, the way I have considered PCOS is that it's more of a rechange of your system. It just means your system is more sensitive. So your hormones are a bit out of whack. You have a lot more male hormones. Maybe you're more insulin resistant. Yeah. Those are all things that are happening. But the baseline of you is just more sensitive, which means that say you are stressed, that pimple will come much faster. Or say, you eat the wrong thing, you're definitely going to get, more acne. Versus like somebody else who doesn't have it, they won't have that. So, you're just a more finely tuned individual. So you actually have to take care of yourself that much more. You have to really take care of your diet. You have to sleep well. You have to find a way to reduce your stress. You have to do a lot more than the person who does not have PCOS. Now, and you have to do it for life. Now, to me, I think what's good about the positive of it is that you start, whenever you get PCOS, you actually start taking care of yourself earlier. As opposed to some of us who start at like 50, 60 and we're like, oh, damn, I should have done this earlier. But, that's the positive to it. So you actually learn to take care of yourself a lot more. The negative is obviously there's acne, there's hair fall, there's balding, there's hair growth in areas you never wanted hair growth. There's period irregularities. There's some risk of infertility, although not everybody. There's a lot of different things that really play out, which are hard, and it's hard for people. So, but again, like we can actually do a lot with PCOS, with lifestyle management, with diet, with exercise, with stress reduction, with meditation, just to reduce stress. All of these things really make a difference. And natural supplements are also there that can help. There's a lot we can do. So I would say take heart. My book has a whole chapter in it. Hello. And those tips will actually a bit.
In the fifth chapter, it's quite in detail as well. So for those of you, I mean, this is a book which I would recommend that you kind of read from the beginning, because if you skip to certain parts, I mean, it's okay, but I would recommend that you read it from kind of, whoever is watching, just read it from the beginning, because it will educate you more perhaps. Okay. So you talk about, the perfect plate on page 135. Very interesting for me. The ideal plate, and uh, would you like to talk about it? And
Yeah.
it,
Ideal plate, according to the American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine, is 5 to 7 servings of fruits or vegetables, 1 serving of nuts, 1 serving of seeds, 4 to 5 servings of beans and lentils every week, and about 70 to 80% of your food should be fruit, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Okay, and that can be root vegetables, that can be onions, that can be so many different things. So it's a very wholesome meal. So your protein, if you notice, is maybe like 20-30%.
that's it. And I mean, again, we go back to what we were talking about. An overload of protein, I don't know what it does to you, but you have seen the West also and the East. What are the things which, like, what was a kind of a shock to you when you started here? What are the differences that you encounter on a day-to-day basis, and when you started, what were the things that really shocked you or were surprising perhaps?
So for me, what I found was what I loved about India was just how much there's alternative medicine here, like Ayurveda, homeopathy. And, I would see people take homeopathy and their periods would become regular. Their skin issues wouldn't go away, but their periods would become regular. So I actually get some homeopathy doctors who bring their kids to me, because they're like, I have regular periods, but the skin is your job, doc. And I'm like, okay, I'm on it. All right. So, so I can work with different specialties. So I can often say to a patient, hey, you have PCOS, you know what? I have seen homeopathy actually help with the period irregularity. You do that while I do my part. So I can do that. Or I learned about Ayurveda. I learned about how that works and how it comes together, and where dermatology very often is derived from quite a bit of Ayurvedic concepts. I learned, about ashwagandha, which actually triggers acne people, especially if you have PCOS. So please, just FYI. I learned about, what I loved in India is that everyone was concerned about what they ate. In America, nobody cares what they ate. That was never a conversation like, does what I eat change anything? But in India, immediately, it was always from the beginning, is my food important? And I never actually, and that I loved that because it changed my world. That's how I became who I am. It's by being in India, because I would see that and I would actually ask the question, well, is that true? And that's when I started developing a very nutritional sort of concept to augment my care, because now I see my patients, the ones who especially listen to the diet advice, get results so much faster. Their results are better. Even if they do like less of the skincare, still they get results, although not as much as I would want if they're not doing their skincare. Do your skincare. What I tell you. But
You are
like, it was such a pleasure. Then I hired a nutritionist, and literally her job would be to check everyone's diet in the first consultation and just make sure, what are they doing? What are they not doing? Is there something that they're messing up with? Is there something we can change? And that made an enormous difference in results. And I was just so blown away by how much such simple things can change your life,
Right. And one of the things, let's take a question and then we'll go on to my question. Devika is asking, I'm someone who uses my phone a lot. Oh my gosh. Will I be exposing my skin to the same UV rays due to the light exposure? Would a blue light filter work? So you have talked about this in the book also. You have talked about blue light and, sunblocks. So would you like to take this?
Yeah, so you can put a blue light filter on your phone, and whatever screens you're using. But actually, any sunblock that's a mineral sunblock with zinc oxide, or any product that even has iron oxides, that blocks out the UV, the blue light already. So if you use enough of that, then that already helps you. But then, yeah, a blue light filter on your screens, for sure. You can buy them on Amazon or whatever online portal you use, and that's fine. Why not?
Yeah. Another question is by Meraki. Homeopathic and Ayurvedic medications are said to be natural, but they also have side effects. It can make the issue worse. How can we find solutions that suit our skin type?
Nothing in life is without side effects. If you drink too much water, even that can give you a side effect. Okay, so you can actually end up hypotonic and have brain issues, brain swelling, because you drank too much water, which is a lot of water. But I just understand that nothing in life is without side effects. And the moment we're trying to look for any solution without any risk, we're just being children. All right, adults understand that everything has, you know, as an adult we know that there is a cost and a benefit to every situation. You're absolutely correct. Yes, Ayurvedic medicines can have side effects. So can homeopathy. Now, the thing is they're not as well studied, perhaps, as Western medicine. At least in Western medicine, you know, it's studied. You know for sure that these are the overall side effects we can see. Your doctor will explain it to you. Like I explain all the side effects as much, you know, the majority of them that are relevant, you know, to my clients, because it's important that you know. So if it happens, then you know what to do and you know how to prepare for it. So those are all things that are there. Now, what is our goal? And I talk about this in my book. Our goal is not to find something natural. Our goal is to find something that has the best benefit with the least risk. That's our goal. You know?
Yeah.
So something with a very high safety profile. So we keep looking for things that are natural, but we don't actually look for what we genuinely want, which is something safe, but something that works. You know, something that might give 1 in 100, let's say 1 in 1,000 people an allergic reaction, but 999 of them are fine, right? So we care about that. That's what we want. We want things that work with low side effects, but and that are comfortable.
Yeah. Monica K. Rao is asking, does what is this? Resveratrol cause
Agent. Very great
harmonize,
agent. Huh?
does it harmonize imbalance? She's asking.
What do you mean harmonize imbalance? It's a great antioxidant care.
Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Okay, we'll go back to the questions, but you know, since you also talk to a lot of celebrities, and I really wanted to ask you, are they any different to us? How do they look at, you know, whatever is happening? I mean, you know, how do they take care of themselves? Do they have more sort of insecurities? Do you treat like the common folks and celebrities different? What happens there? I mean, it's quite intriguing, to be honest, this entire world.
I don't know. I treat celebrities and everyone else the same. Everyone is the same. If you're a celebrity or you're just a normal Joe Schmo off the street, you're a patient at the end of the day, and my patient is God. So I treat you the best. I get the best. I look to give you a result, and I look to care for you, and I look to help you, and that's my job. I don't find any celebrities to be any different than anybody else. I do think they have a higher requirement to look better because they have to go on screen. They have those HD cameras which show everything. You know, they have their agent, they have somebody, everyone telling them what they need to do for their next movie or their next show. So, you know, they are going to be infinitely more involved in what they look like because that's their job. They have to. That is literally their job. So they will probably do, you know, their diet and exercise will be on point. Their water intake will be on point. They may do their drips regularly. They will do their laser facials regularly. They will do their body laser facials regularly. Their laser hair removal is done. They may do Botox. They may do fillers. They may do skin boosters. They may not do any of it, but it depends on what their job, what they need, right? But they will be much more active, much more preventative, and much more on it than maybe the average person whose job isn't to look great on screen. Okay, so you know, that's just how it is. If it's my job to look good, I'm going to do a hell of a lot more than somebody who is not their job to look good.
Right. I was reading the book, and you know, in the later parts, you know, you also talk about Botox and you know, or the fillers. And as soon as we read these terms, especially on the internet, everybody is very afraid. Okay, people are like, okay, I'm gonna die if I do this, I'm gonna die. So it is just you know. You know, there is insecurity towards it, and you have tried to kind of calm everybody down in this book. And so how do you deal with it? Do you feel like when clients come in, are some people afraid? What is their mapping like?
But there are many people that are afraid, but it's my job to tell them what is the risk of what they're saying, right? Like, are you going to die from Botox? Like, I really don't think so. Like, I mean, you're more likely to die from lightning, you know? So I was worried about getting hit by lightning, right? You know? So you're not, right? You're not worried when you walk across that a car is going to hit you. You're not even paying attention. You're just assuming the cars will stop. I mean, these are all the things, right? And that's more, again, more likely. All right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, so it's a conversation. What is the risk? What
Right.
are the risks? What is the likelihood of that risk?
Right.
And that's it. And then you get to decide. You're the boss. It's an optional procedure. It is not mandatory. You don't want to do Botox, don't do Botox. You want to do Botox and not do it 3 months later, don't do it again. It's all on you. So if you feel that the risks, that the risks are less than the benefits and the benefits are worth it, by all means. If you just don't want to deal with it, don't. There are non-invasive options as well. They may give different results, but that's your call. You're an adult.
True. True. Makes sense. Angrezi mentor is asking, according to you, how much is too much water?
Oh, so I think like sometimes people do like 30 glasses of water. Like that's just insane to me. Usually it's anywhere from 8 to 12 glasses of water a day.
Right. Yeah. Manik Kharbanda. I have no hair follicles in my left eyebrow in a certain part. What can I do to have hair growth in that part of my eyebrows? Well, you'll have to meet Dr. Kiran.
Why that's the case, There's many reasons why that could be. So I'd have to just take a look and tell you.
Yeah. So you can go. You are based in Delhi, is it?
New Delhi, Basant Bihar.
Yes. Awesome. So go to Dr. Kiran, and she'll solve it for you. She's a ninja, a skin witch. Sorry, a skin witch. Sorry. So Aditya is, yeah.
Which is cute.
Yes, totally. But your videos are awesome. I must say it is very, it's very easy to take in all that information. It's super. Aditya is asking, there was a mention of all things dermatology can change in the appearance for people. Is it really necessary to change the way we look, or are we just capitalizing on people's insecurities? Oh my gosh.
Oh, great question. It is not required to change the way you look. It is your choice. If you have a concern, by all means treat it. If you don't have a concern, don't treat it. It's all your choice. Okay? So, that's all I got to say about it.
Okay, the editor recommends is back, I think. So she's the best. All the compliments my skin gets are all thanks to her. So I think so. The editor should, transfer some of her followers to Dr. Kiran, I suppose. Although she doesn't need them, but still, Let's talk about the book, since the editor is, commenting. So, the process of a book like this, a non-fiction, how important is the editor in all of that, first of all, because you already have all the information, perhaps too much of it. So is the filtering an issue? How does one kind of, make a book like this, create a book like this, so as to not kind of make it preachy as well, because it's a balance, right?
Yeah. So I'm not preachy by nature. I have a way of speaking, and literally the book is exactly how I speak. So when you read it, you'll hear my voice in your head, because that's literally the way I talk. My editor, what she did for me was she organized me, right? I was like, these are the topics I want to talk about. So we worked on a chapter list, and then, I wrote my chapters, and she went through it, then she made it like, she said, people actually are very interested in thyroid. So she actually made me add more sections on thyroid and nails. So certain things she's like, you need to add. Then she also made sure that, I made it simpler sometimes for people to understand. Sometimes it needs to be more easily readable, right? She helped me with that. I mean, good. Yeah. I think I had to do 2 rounds with her. But overall, luckily, my book was pretty good to go right off the bat. There wasn't that many changes, but there were definitely some additions, which was like, oh, I'm so tired, I don't want to write anymore. But like the show was like, oh, we need this. And I was like,
but the book is doing well, and guys, you can grab a copy from Amazon, or is it available in bookstores?
It is available in bookstores all across India. It's available on Amazon, Amazon.com, Amazon.uk, and Amazon.in as well. Thanks so much for having me, by the way.
Who's Chetin Nerula? Tell us more about the stuff at the clinic.
There's a lot of new facials at the clinic. We've got our great machines, Sculpture, Pico Shore, the latest machines out for both pigmentation and fat loss. Facials, Mirror Peel is fabulous. The Zoobaji facials are fabulous. I mean, we're very happy.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you,
Yeah, some great questions there and some quite hard ones. To be honest, I didn't expect that, people will be, this, specific. So thank you so much, Doc, and
Thank you
amazing
for
to
having
have
me. Thank you so much. Buy my book,
Yeah,
Amazon.in.
obviously, I had a gala time and looking forward to perhaps having you in Doon for an offline session. People will go crazy here. I'm pretty
No
sure,
problem. Call me anywhere. I'm
Yeah,
ready.
yeah. Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Pick up a copy, leave your review. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you so much for this.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.